Subscribe if you like. Hit the like if you like me.
I think sometimes as mothers, we have a habit of overextending ourselves, especially when we have a history of being maybe not so good of a parent. I have a history like that. I lost custody of my kids for 8 years because of my drug addiction, but I got them back, and I've had them back almost as long as I had lost them. And I've had a lot of hurdles. Teenagers are a different breed. Every stage of raising a child has its challenges, as we say. But as my kids get older, and we're talking about 16, 20, 21, these are the ages I'm speaking of, I've come across some power dynamic issues, just childish things, the dishes, the chores, just mindfulness things. And I'm just tired of being frustrated, quite frankly. And I've learned to say no. That's my favorite word of late, because I find that I'm really doing a lot, and I'm not getting a lot of compromise back. I don't ask for much, and when I don't get it, I feel some type of way, and I've had to learn to pull back when my kids don't want to listen, quite frankly. My kids get a lot of benefits to me. I keep the house clean. If they ask me for something, I get it. Because I don't want to forget. I have a habit of forgetting things. I'm recovering from bipolar and avoidant personality disorder, so memory is very challenging for me. So when someone asks me to do something now, I don't procrastinate, because procrastination for me means I'll never get it done at all. If I make if I make an excuse for myself to hold off on doing something, it will never get done. I've had that pattern my entire life, so there are just some things about myself that I have to accept, and that's one of them. So when they ask me for something, I immediately go do it. All of their meals are home cooked, even their snacks, okay? I make these kids, just last night, I made them peanut butter chocolate granola. One made it into bars, one ate it as cereal. I also made oat milk from scratch. Then I made because we were out of oat milk. Like, I don't do that all the time. I just learned how to do that. Then I made lentil meatballs. I make lentil meat out of walnuts and lentils. Throw some tomatoes in there, maybe some peppers. And you can use it as taco meat. You can use it as a burger. You can put it on a salad. You can use it anywhere where you would use ground meats. I'll be making lentil burgers, all types of stuff. Made that. Then I made spaghetti sauce, all from scratch. I make this pumpkin tomato spaghetti sauce. My book is coming soon. I'm working on a book right now of my recipes, because I don't eat meat. They do. I know how to cook meat. I used to eat meat, but I don't. It doesn't agree with my system, honestly. And there's also metaphysical ramifications for eating meat, and I don't want to encourage my primal nature on its base level, because I'm trying to elevate. Anyway, enough about hermeticism. These kids, I'm not gonna let them drive me crazy. I'm very into healing repeated negative behavior patterns and thought patterns. I get intrusive thoughts, especially when I'm very, very stressed out. Most of my time, I'm managing my mental health and the mental health of my kids, because we have a lot of trauma, and that affects every aspect of our life. Our health. Did you know that your gut health is connected to your emotions and your mental health? So the food that I make is medicine. I don't just give them anything. It'll make them crazy. There are certain things that they just can't eat. They can't eat processed food. It makes them sick. Fast food used to make them very aggressive. I pay very much close attention to how my children evolve and their behavior and how they respond to things. And then I have to adjust how I deal with them so I don't damage them. They're very sensitive. They're like their mom. They're very sensitive, and they're very spiritually gifted. So being a mom is a divine project, honestly. And I take it very seriously. And I'm burdened every day with the decisions from my past of me not being a present mom, and me not understanding that me being on drugs and high somewhere and just leaving them to just do whatever, or have whatever done to them, is a massive L right here. You know, and nothing that I do now is ever going to take that away. So I basically committed my life to my kids to try to fix what I broke. I don't feel like I should get into another relationship. If you're new here, I was married for 20 years, got divorced after I got out of rehab, and then my ex died a year later from an overdose or a hot shot from the new whatever on the side. We will never know. I know. But, you know, we don't know. We don't know what happened. So now I'm here. And everything that I learned in life about food, healing, just anything. I'm a student of life. I share with you. That's what my channel is about. I make music. I write. I have a clothing line, UFO, Unified Force Objective. You can check out my store, projectfury.etsy.com, for unique gifts and apparel. I have high quality custom printed items like this. I designed that because I don't want to wear someone else's brand. It's hard to find just basic clothes. I'm very basic. I like black. I like words. I like authentic expression. I like creative forms of expression. I like beautiful pieces of art. So a lot of my items on my store are basically pieces of art on items. I love paintings. I love art, basically. You know, I'm an artist. And because of my mental health and spiritual sensitivities, the 9 to 5 is not conducive to my needs. I just can't function in that way. So I have to use myself and my gifts and my abilities and my skills to make money. And I teach my children to do the same thing. And just like how I had to pull my kids out of public school because they could not learn or thrive in that environment, it's the same thing. That was their 9 to 5. And just the way it's set up, it just, I don't really know how anyone can thrive in those type of environments. So this is our life. This is what we do. This is what we believe in. And I believe that there is great healing in telling your story. And it's very important to try to inspire others to be who they are. A lot of places in society don't accept you when you act like who you are. They want you to conform and be like everybody else. But that's not what we were meant to be. So if I can ever encourage someone to do anything, it would be to homeschool your kids if you can, cook as many of your meals as possible, acquire new skills. Like I did my eyebrows. Can you believe that? I've never plucked my eyebrows before, and it was so easy. I thought it was so hard, and you know, I would pay for someone else to do it, and they would never do it right. And then finally, I just got fed up. Well, first of all, I don't even like being touched. I don't like being touched, so that was an issue. And then I'm paying money to get services where people really don't care about their job, and then you're a little too close, and then when they're done doing your eyebrows, whether it's threading or anything like that, and they're wiping off with the brush that they don't wiped off 1,000 faces, I can't. I do my own nails, I do my own feet, I twist my own hair. My daughter braids her hair and her brother's hair. Like, I just do everything on my own. And now I have my own clothing line. I can wear my own clothes. It's just, I want my own things. I don't want to walk around an unpaid billboard for someone else that doesn't even care about me or my community. I feel like the whole world hates me just because I exist, and I'm not about to sit up here and invest my energy, i.e. my money, with, you know, anyone or anything that doesn't support me right back. You know, relationships need to be reciprocal, which brings it right back to my teenagers. I just want respect. I respect them, and I show my love through acts of service, making sure all these bills are paid and their clothes are clean, even though I have made the older kids start washing their own clothes because we have to go to a laundromat, which is fine. I still provide the soap powder and whatnot. Like, I literally provide everything. Respect. Respect has to be had. Has to be given. I don't believe, like how I was raised back in the 80s, that respect was one-sided. And it came only from the child to the parent. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm your slave. No. It's a equal give and take. I listen to my kids, and I expect them to listen to me. I give to them. I expect them to give me compliance and to, you know, adhere to my standards. You know to take the trash out when you see that it's full. Just do it. You know to wash your dishes when you're done. Don't stack them there for someone else to wash because that someone else is me. I just don't want to be taken advantage of because I have mental health disorder. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. You know I got OCD. You know my behind is going to be in there 15 minutes later, washing up and cleaning up behind you. Just wash your dishes. I love you. Thank you for spending time with me here in Fury World. If you're interested in more videos about mental health, spirituality, or single parenting, check out my playlist. If you're interested in checking out my music, it's available on all music streaming platforms worldwide under my artist name, The Fury of Abyss. I love you, and I'll check you in the next episode. Peace.
Subscribe if you like, hit the like if you like me.